Okay, test, test. Can you hear?
Norman says negativity.
Negativity. Negativity.
Okay, test. There it is.
There we go. Okay, test, test. All right, we got it.
Right.
Okay, so we're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. All right, so you missed everything I said, so I'm going to say it again. Hi. I'm CJ from Better Pickleball, one half of VI Pickleball. And Tony, you can't see him. He's off the camera right now. There he is. There's Tony. He's my partner in crime. As you know, we've been doing camps. So we got a break from the fires in Tahoe. It's actually beautiful. I mean, it's been fantastic. And we have had 3 of our people who we had a camp this morning. I think we ran everybody ragged. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's a little tired, but they're back for more. We're going to play a little bit. Ron and Gary and Lori, I got to tell you, they've been killing it. They have been working really hard at improving their games. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on at the camp. And we're going to answer your questions as well. I think we got our tech figured out. Tony, are you going to come in here now? Or
I'm good. Hello, everybody.
You know who he is, right? So I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. Is that okay? Well, you've been on the spot like multiple times, right? So this is nothing new. We're in the second day of a 3-day camp. Ron, have you had like an aha moment or something that really kind of has stuck out to you so far?
I think that some of the fun drills that we've learned here that are competitive while you're learning stuff, I think is for me, because I love to play. I'm not that into just even though I have one of the pickleball machines that throws balls at you, I've only used it twice in a year. It's sad, and I will get back to that. But that's one. Those are the things that I've really enjoyed.
So does that mean there's a used ball machine for sale?
If you're in the island of Kauai and you're looking for a ball machine, we got a deal for you.
Yeah, he's from Hawaii. So okay, cool. All right, Gary, how about you? Has there been anything that stuck out to you?
I have taken private lessons. I have taken group lessons. And I must say, I have learned a lot more from you two in addition to what I learned from those people. It's fantastic. I love it.
Cool.
All the things about breathing.
You mean actually having to breathe while we're playing pickleball?
Tony's comment about breathe really helps.
That's our specialty, is the breathing component of pickleball. So, breathing and drinking water. Those are the 2 things that we focus on.
Yeah, exactly. Those are some of the things that we do. Okay, cool. Lori, how about you?
Oh gosh. Shot selections. I've found out I've been standing in the wrong place. Tony keeps telling me move over toward the middle, so that was great to know. Being reminded of some things I've been taught in the past and kind of haven't been doing right. He's, reminding me do it this way, not that way. So that's great.
Cool. And you might recognize Lori. Lori's been in a few of my videos. She's a local. She's here in Tahoe.
Third shot specialist, Lori, we call her.
She is. I got to tell you, she hits a killer third shot. Come on, Christy with a C. So we have 2 Christies. Christy with a C. Slide on here and here. Say hello to everybody. We've been working her really hard too.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot. You did not have the benefit of hearing everybody that went before you. But I said, we're just asking, has there been anything, have you had like an aha moment or something that has stood out to you over the last 2 days? Like what?
Everything.
Not everything.
When I was playing pickleball, I was just hitting the ball back and trying to, I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
So everything you guys have been telling us is the strategy that I didn't know. I saw people use strategy, but I didn't know what it meant. And you guys have been breaking it down and doing these drills, and it's just huge. I was telling my husband about it, and he was yawning listening to me.
I take it he doesn't play pickleball.
Yeah, he does.
He does, but just
when you get on the pickleball court and you catch him in the wrong spot over and over again, he's going to be like, all right, what they tell you again?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut if I want a happy husband. So
no,
anyway,
but on the court, he's going to be like, what happened? I don't know what's going on here. So
it's been a lot of aha moments, actually, and even your physical working us, the sidestep, everything. It's just been huge. I learned so much.
That's an area of pickleball, Chrissy, that a lot of players, right? They don't know how to move on the court, and why would you know how to move on the court?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why like CJ with her footwork and her background as a personal trainer brings that all to the game. Yes, we wanted to share that with you guys. Hey, Linda, come on in whenever you're ready.
Absolutely.
I think if you're a tennis player, you might have, had that kind of brain.
But even the lateral movement in tennis is a little bit different because in tennis we do the step over, right? And in pickleball, you don't want to do the step over, so you want to keep because of the NVZ line, right?
Right.
So if you do the step over, you're in the NVZ. So, but awesome, cool.
Great. What have you got?
Huh?
I've been like doing this whole thing, and you've been snoozing
You're doing
over
good.
on the
I'm
side.
not snoozing nothing. It's all good. It's all good. I thought like today, we were focusing on getting past 4, right, and the first 4 shots, and I think that's an area that again is kind of overlooked because everybody wants to have long rallies. I love long rallies, right?
Okay, hang on a second. You're bouncing the table with your hand.
Everybody likes long rallies.
Which the table's on the camera for those of you who don't know, right? That's why you're seeing it hop up and down.
So we're having an earthquake here.
Yeah,
in Lake Tahoe.
exactly. We are not.
But so we like the long rallies and they stand out, and that's great, right? When we have the 12, 14 shot rallies, they stand out. The idea though is can we get to where the 8 and 10 shot rallies don't stand out anymore? They're like the norm, and then now we're getting to like the 22 shot rally is the one that's the standout rally as opposed to the 8 shot rally, right? So that's really, and that's the key, right? Is little by little improving those pieces so that we can keep on extending the games, right? Keep on extending the games and making the rallies longer. So, but I know you guys have been working hard, and it's hotter here than you would think, right?
Right,
on the court, yeah.
In the sun.
The sun's kicking it out here. So anyway, so that's what I got, CJ. I mean, the importance of consistency and how it and I think knowing the strategy and being more consistent makes you a happier pickleball player because you're more confident on the court, you're more comfortable on the court, you know what's going on. Whether the other people know what's going on or not, that's not your problem. You see what's going on out there. And so, it's just a much richer way of playing. So
Come on over if you want to be on. You gotta get back. You gotta bring a
Mary,
chair and
that's
get
right.
back in here,
Mary
Mary.
will be on.
Yeah, and we'll get a couple more in here. So one of the things we've been talking about too, and we've been talking about this is Mary. Mary, say hi to everybody. And we're sorry that the mic is in the way. This is kind of an impromptu.
Thank you.
We're going back out on the courts for a little bit and just have a little bit of fun.
we didn't play enough today. So
Yeah,
we need some more play.
You didn't get enough, did you?
There's
It
never
was a
enough.
good thing we
interrupted
fed
by
them,
you
right?
guys.
They're like, don't talk to me this afternoon. Let's just
Like,
play.
Right.
We didn't even score anymore.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Right. It
But
was,
I'll tell you, hold on. Can I do this? So that's actually a really smart way to play. Like the scores, what we do with the score is a result, right?
Right.
So really what we're focusing on is let's play the rallies the best way we can, right? Do the best we can out there. And then at the end of the day, someone tell me what it is. Did I win or did I lose, right? That's just going to be the result. So yeah, I think playing without scoring, nothing wrong with that.
no. And I was going to say a couple of the things that we've been focusing on is the things that we talk to you about is we talk about the 3 pillars of pickleball. We talk about the mechanical pillar, the strategic pillar, and then the athletic pillar. And so yesterday we started working on the mechanical pillar. Come on over. We started working on the mechanical pillar, looking at strokes, but not just looking at strokes. That was one of the things we also looked at was footwork, right? And hopefully, anybody want to comment on the footwork and being in the right place, how that has kind of changed maybe what you're feeling on the court, or not feeling it yet? That's okay if you're not feeling it yet.
I think my shots are more consistent. Even just doing the same sorts of shots, they're just more consistent. Third shot drop, for example, and the way that we got to the full third shot drop, I think it's all new to me. That I was just all over the place, sort of just leaning here and there. But yeah,
You had to third it to a certain person, not just
That too.
like wherever I felt like over the
sure.
net.
Yeah.
Always like wherever I felt like over the net.
Yeah, I could see it right before lunch. Everybody's brains were like smoking. There was smoke coming out of the ear, and the eyes were getting glazed over. So we definitely knew that it was time for, and that's the strategy part, right? Is combining all 3 of those pillars the mechanical, the strategy. We've talked a lot about that. And then, of course, the athletic pillar weaves through all of that.
Yeah, and I totally felt the difference because I'm fairly athletic, but when you were really specifying how you split stance and, reset and I just feel so much better about it because now I feel like I'm not going to hurt myself. And I do see people take balls. I did take a fall one time. And it was literally because I wasn't on the ball on my feet and my foot just stuck and I went down. And so I feel more confident just in that, in what you were showing us. And I'm going to do more of those before I play instead of just walking on the court and starting to play.
Yeah, if there's one thing, right? Don't walk on the court and start to play. Do something. Do something, right?
It's a good way to get good way to injure yourself.
It is. It
way to
really is a good
pull a
way.
muscle. You'll hurt your hamstring.
Well, one of the people that I play with a lot in Kauai, he tripped and was concussed, and for half an hour, I didn't know what was going on, but just because of bad footwork.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. All right, Charm, where are you, girl? Because you are here at this camp and she's watching us on Facebook.
Okay. Is Charm in her room on Facebook?
Charm is in her room. Everybody say hi. Everybody say hi to Charm. All right.
Hi, Sean.
Oh my goodness. We also have Diane. She's one of our members and she was supposed to come to the first camp and we had to cancel the first camp. So hello to Cynthia and Richard. Lynn is here. Dave, we haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
What's up, Dave? And Meredith is on YouTube with us. Meredith, our friend Meredith. And then there was a question.
Meredith.
There was a question on YouTube.
Okay.
So, were you all once tennis players? So, anybody here with former tennis player transitioning?
Sandlot tennis. That's it.
Oh, nice. So,
Volleyball.
So, tennis here. Yes, one tennis. Linda, tennis?
Yep.
No. All right.
You didn't play tennis?
I didn't. I just played as a kid with my parents.
Okay.
You have tennis strokes, so that's what.
So right. Yeah. I mean, that
I
surprises
used to hit
me.
against the garage by myself
Nothing wrong with
when I
that.
was a kid. I never really played on the court.
Oh.
I just used to hit against the garage.
You have a tennis looking stroke, and Mary actually has a tennis looking stroke. You know, the way you guys hit the ball. Looks like tennis.
Hackers.
Whatever. It looks like tennis to me, so you know.
I think I was copying the TV when I watched it.
I
think that's how they did it.
Leon has something for us, and I'm gonna have anyone who wants to comment on this can be. So Leon said, so many people are statues at the net. You should move until an opponent strikes the ball. Like a book said, if you ain't poaching, you ain't playing.
We talked about that today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Any comments on that, on what Leon had to say? Don't all talk at once.
Well, after our first little play session, game session, I kind of was feeling like people were. I was trying to, I probably did poach a couple, but then I wasn't sure what other people thought about it because I know where I play at home that the consensus is it's bad. But right off the bat, Tony was like, "Get in there, Ron."
Well, we want to play. I mean, the concept, right, is best shot for the team.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the poach makes sense for the team, poach. And the other thing about the statue is, remember, there's 4 players on the court, right? There's only one offensive player when the serve's being hit. So if the non-returner is standing there like not doing anything, then you're really losing an important element of the game. So.
Right. Yeah, we talked a lot about that at lunch, right? Is what's the best situation for the team? And, at that point in time, and I had some of you out on the court too. I said, it's always we're always solving a puzzle. So if the 4 of us are on a court together and we're playing against the guys, that's one puzzle. But if we mix up and now I'm playing with Ron and Gary's playing with Christy, that's a different puzzle to solve. What we did as a team is not necessarily going to work against the 2 of them. And as we talked about, because we got some interesting questions recently, it's not like a pre-done playbook.
Right.
I mean, maybe you want to talk a little bit about
that.
that.
I mean, we get asked about like patterns of play, right? So there are some things you can do, like we talked today about the third shot placement and things like that, and get an advantage there. But this idea that you're going to hit 2 shots to the left and then 1 shot to the right, and then you're going to get a pop and you're going to put it away, it doesn't work, right? I mean, it just doesn't work. So there are some tendency things like, if I pull the players wide, this was going to happen. I'm going to slide over with a shot. But this idea that there's like a formula to play, you're better off understanding the fundamentals, right, and how the game is built. And then you can solve problems like CJ's talking about, solve the puzzle as you play. You say, okay, I'm saying that, this player isn't coming in, or this player is moving, just too far to one side or the other side, so I'm going to attack the opening. That's because the situation that presents itself to you. And that's frankly one of the beauties of our game. Because I think of our game, and nothing against like a game like Cornhole, it's fine, but Cornhole it's a static game, right? I'm standing, I don't know what it is, 20 feet, 30 feet, whatever it is from a board, right? There's a hole. The only thing that might change is if like they throw one of those bean bags to block the hole, then I have to change. But otherwise, the thing doesn't move, right? The players don't change. The hole doesn't change. So that's, again, nothing against the game. Same thing with bowling and things like that. Those are static kind of games. Our game, it's always evolving. Who's our opponent? What are the conditions, right? How am I hitting that day? Where am I? Am I on the left or on the right? For instance, I'm left-handed. Like I know that our male players in the camp are all left-handed.
Okay,
for some reason.
every guy in the camp is left-handed. Every gal in the camp is right-handed.
But so as a left-handed player, when I'm playing on the right side or on the, sometimes they call it the do side of your tennis player, but on the right side, my forehand's in the middle. I'm a much different player than when I'm playing on the left side when my forehand's on the side, because I can't do as much offensively with my forehand off the court. When I'm on the right side, I'm an animal if they're moving around trying to find shots. When I'm on the left, that's not there anymore, because I'm not as comfortable with this put away. So
it's an interesting thing. I just thought of an analogy, which is poker. If you've played poker to some level, to get better at poker, you have to understand where you are position-wise compared to the button. You have to play differently. You have to see what other people, how they play, and adapt your game against their game. And poker is a lot like
that. Yeah, and if you play pickleball unidimensionally, right? So you only have one thing that you do. Eventually, you're going to run into somebody that doesn't work against, right? So say I like to drive the ball, but sometimes you play players. We played against Phil Bagley. He's probably still a very good player. He played a lot of tournaments back in the day. He hasn't played that much anymore, but he could just hit it back harder than I can hit it at him. So that doesn't make any sense, right? So you got to come out of it, and you got to have, okay, what's plan B? What's plan C? What's plan B? Whatever. So
I had a question. How do you feel about returning a serve to a person's backhand?
There's marginal advantage, and what we talk about is how, like, there's some things that are really big in pickleball. Like earlier we were talking about how important the return of serve is, right? Return of serve is a big ticket item. Same thing with like so the return of serve is a big ticket item. Your being up at the NVZ after return, huge item, right? Depth of shot, huge item. Forehand versus backhand. Now I will say this, it depends, because some players have a better backhand, right? Some players prefer their backhand. But assuming the more normal forehand is stronger for a player, you are going to gain a marginal advantage by going to their backhand, but is it worth the risk? So, and then you start, but that's a smaller marginal advantage. Then, for instance, am I up at the NVZ, not up at the NVZ on a return? That can be a huge difference in a game, difference maker. Shots to any weaker side of a player are generally going to be better. So the bigger thing to me is this. So when we were playing, I forget exactly who I was talking to about it, but I think it was Ron. You were playing with who were you partnered with?
which day?
Today.
He's playing a lot with Lori.
Yeah, with Lori.
Okay, so right, so the issue there was when I have Ron and Lori where their backhands are in the middle, right? What that tells me is now my shots are going to go in the middle, right? So I'm going to hit balls in the middle. When their backhands are on the outside, I'm going to switch over to the outside when I'm on the serve team, right? So to me that's a bigger ticket item than just, okay, I'm just going to get this serve to their backhand. Because usually the problem with the offensive serve normally is they're going to normally be able to get a paddle on it and send it back. So, okay, you know what I mean? So the advantages are less than understanding, okay, I'm going to attack this area because it's a weaker area. So
now, one of the tutors I had said, aim for the person's hitting arm down the side of his body. That's the weakest spot. Do you agree?
The weakest spot is on the hitting side at the hip.
At the hip.
So if you and up here too, right? But the problem with up here is it goes out. So if you start hitting to the shoulder and you're playing a player like me, if you come at my shoulder, I'm just going to roll out of the way. Sure. Now, if you can get it into my belly to thigh area on that side, that's where it gets difficult because I either have to chicken wing or I can't get a forehand on it really. So that area, if you're going to attack, if you watch the pros, most of their drives are at the hip of their opponent on their dominant side. That's usually where they're
on their paddle hand.
Right,
so
paddle hand.
Think paddle hand.
Yeah.
So we got a couple questions online. First of all, Barry Baker says, "Yay for lefties." So
What's up, Barry?
Barry's one of our VIP members, and he's also a lefty. So how you doing? How's things in North Carolina today, Barry? Philip Curtis Tucker. Ooh, I like that name. That is really good. Hello, Philip. How are you? He wants to know, what is the number one tip you can give for someone to stop getting got on their backhand dink or shot? So we were just talking backhands. Why don't you keep going?
Sorry, what was the question? I was looking at the question on YouTube.
What is the number one tip you can give for someone to stop getting got on their backhand dink or shot?
Footwork.
Yeah.
Footwork and balance. It's getting to the ball in good footwork and a good balance. The stroke doesn't change, right? It's the same stroke. Now, if you're pulled super wide, there's 3 options. There's the dump dink, right? You can try that one. I like the cross-court dink to the middle, or I like the lob. And I like the lob because it also buys you time.
Yeah.
So as long as you make them take a step or 2 off the line, even if it's not a perfect lob, that allows you time to recover, and then your partner can get set up to try and take the punishment. What you don't want to do is just feed it back, because if you just feed it back across, then it's an easy put away, because there's a huge opening there, and they just poke it through the hole.
Yep.
So
hopefully we got that answered for you, Philip Curtis Tucker. Leon wants to know, what percentage of third shot drives to drop do each of you do?
Well, I mean,
Depends on the opponent.
Right. It's very situational. I mean, that's where it starts to get, and we talked about this earlier today, that's where the number of variables start increasing, right? So on the serve, there's no variable. On the serve, I know the size of the serve box I'm hitting into. I know the ball I'm playing with. I should know the wind conditions, and I can decide how to address that, right? Once you get to the third shot, it depends. Is the returner in or not in? If the returner's not in, then I'm never hitting a third shot drop, right? Because that robs me of my advantage that I have because the returner hasn't moved forward. So it's a drive, but it's more just a loopy shot. I'm not trying to hit it super hard. If I get short returns, I'm going to drive them, right? Because that gives you an advantage. If I get a trouble return is like if someone slices it really well and stays low, those are really hard to hit third shot drops. So there you can just hit it like I'm just staying alive. I'm just hitting it hard, semi-hard. I'm just hitting a drive back. The idea being now they're going to volley the next one. They won't be able to cut it as much. So the next ball will be more neutral, and then I'll be able to lift that next one better. So I think, the third shot drop should always be in your back pocket and ready to be used when it makes sense and allows your team to move forward. If the drive would be used when an opportunity presents, returner hasn't come in, or I get a short ball that I can put some pressure on him with, and I can drive, and you have a drive. Don't force a drive into your life. And then I also use the drive, like I said, if I'm in trouble. So you look at it as an extending play shot, not a winner. And you see it in the pros a lot, where you see like they'll hit a third shot drive and then a fifth shot drop. They're not hitting the third shot drive offensively. They're hitting the third shot drive to extend the rally. So they're just hitting it because the shot doesn't set up well for a third shot drop. And then they're going to hit a fifth shot drop because the next ball will be a more neutral shot. But I mentioned it briefly. Don't feel like you need to add drives to your game if you don't drive the ball. You can play perfectly good pickleball without ever driving the ball, ever. Because what you're going to do is, if you have the opportunity situation, right, where you want to drive it, you're just going to hit a returner serve. That's all you need. So you're just going to come in, the ball bounces, they're not in, you're going to return serve. I'm putting that in quotes, right? So you're hitting a third shot, but it's basically the same as a returner serve. So you're just going to hit a deep ball to them, not have to be a hard drive, and then keep them back. You do not need a drive to play. You can play even 4-5 pickleball. 5-0 will be harder nowadays because it's gotten harder at 5-0, but you still, but 4-5, even 5-0, without ever driving the ball. Ever driving the ball.
Wow.
One thing else I want to throw in on here too is sometimes it's what you're comfortable with. What shot are you most comfortable with? So when you're under especially when you're under pressure. So if somebody's hit you, but a ball, so let's just say they've hit a return that's deep in the court, right? It's coming back to the baseline. There are times where you just have to say, what's the best shot I have to get this over? I've got a tough shot, right? Do I feel more comfortable with the drop shot, or do I feel more comfortable hitting the drive shot just to get this shot over and keep the ball in play? So sometimes that's our comfort level. Like Lori, and again, because she's here at the courts, we know she's got a hell of a third shot, right? I mean, she's got a third shot she can hit into various parts. It's generally fairly untackable. she doesn't have a great drive. I mean, and I'm not telling her
No,
anything
no.
she doesn't already.
No,
that
I
she
don't.
already doesn't
And
know.
I've played with really hard hitters, and they have got so upset. She's not hitting anything hard, and we beat
boy.
them consistently. And it's because the soft game and the thirds were on that day, and he was just couldn't even figure out what in the world was happening.
Let me put this. So the soft game is always there.
Mhm.
You can always play a good soft game and be in the game. Whether you win or not, I don't know, right? But you're always going to be competitive if you play a good soft game. If you play a good hard game, not sure what's going to happen. In other words, if you play a good hard game against a good soft game, I would put my money on the soft game. If the soft game it's the same level, right? Same general level. I would put my dollars on the soft game players to win the match, not the hard shot players. The hard shot players are going to have some sexy shots. Don't get me wrong. They're going to have some shots and you're like, what? Amazing. So what?
We have a banger in the group that we play with, and he used to win every game, no matter who he was partnered with. Now he just wins, about an average number.
Yeah.
But because he hasn't really improved his game at all,
Right.
Doesn't have a good soft game. Yeah.
We got a couple questions on YouTube. So one is Ms. Posh Life. I like that.
Posh life.
Posh Life is good.
Ooh,
And
ooh.
Ms. Posh Life.
Miss?
Should I take beginner tennis lessons and beginner pickleball lessons at the same time because the tennis players are so much better? What I would say, Ms. Posh Life, is tennis players are going to be better initially in the sense that they have the mechanics for stroking. They know paddle mechanics, right? There are some downsides to tennis players coming over because of the type of swing that they have. I would recommend, if you want to do both, listen, knock yourself out. There's nothing wrong with doing both. If you want to play pickleball, if your focus is pickleball, I would suggest focusing on pickleball. And if you want to go out and mess around with tennis, again, fine. But if your focus is pickleball, I would not take tennis lessons as a supplement to pickleball work. Who's on here? Or Dale, our friend Dale's on here.
Dale.
Dale
Hi,
says
Dale.
he likes
Hi,
Ron's comment. I love poaching when I can take a better shot than my partner. That's exactly right.
Yep.
That's the whole point. And then he says, Dale says tennis players are better because of more reps at hitting the ball. Because they come to the game with tennis background, I would agree that they've hit more balls in their life historically, right? Not necessarily now, but go ahead.
If you've already played tennis for years and years, then
Right. Or a ping pong player, racquetball
Right.
player, squash player, right?
right. But if you want to play pickleball now, then it doesn't make sense to go play tennis for.
I would agree.
Seems to me.
I would agree. And then Meredith, and this is a real question. You can see it on YouTube if you don't believe me. Meredith asks,
Is that our Meredith?
yeah.
Hello, Meredith.
Question for the players: are CJ and Tony as nice in person as they are online?
Yes, absolutely.
A tee-up question.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that only cost you $50,
Yeah.
right? Each, man, that just adds up. Holy moly!
You guys are getting dinner, right?
Yes, yeah. Hey, we got one more question over on Facebook.
Last question because
Last question because we're going to play some pickleball.
People
Yes,
getting antsy.
you
I'm
got
getting
it.
antsy.
I'm telling you, I am too. Philip again said, "Is there a perfect way, or what is the correct way to hold your paddle and grip pressure?"
Gary knows this answer. Gary,
Yes.
where's the paddle? Yeah, you have a paddle. I have a paddle.
Yep.
You got it.
Come
Oh, here.
on, look at this.
Gary's
Look
our
at this.
Gary's our paddle expert.
Yeah.
A continental grip. Ron, Tony drew it for me on my paddle handle. So
Continental grip, and you hold it at a 90, just the way Gary has it there. So when you pull it in front of you, it's 90 degrees to the court or to the floor here, right?
Right.
To the decking here. And then what about grip pressure? Who wants to take grip pressure?
It varies.
Varies, but what are the give them the ranges or whatever,
0 to 10.
right? But I give them like a framework. Like, how do you know what grip do you want to use?
Well, if you're at the net, you're going to probably vary it more and have softer shots for the thinking and for responding to hard shots. And depending on how far away from the net you are for your forehands, backhands, and so on, you're going to have different, like probably a little firmer the further away you are.
Right.
The drop shot should have a 5. Soft.
It can be a 5, can be a 4. I would say if you want to find your like a good general grip, take your paddle, grip it hard, go half, use that. If when in doubt, right? And then from there you can go a little softer, a little harder.
Like the block shot you're saying.
Right.
Soft.
There you go, a little softer, right? But it's situational, right? Like Ron was saying. But you have a good starting grip that you can use for pretty much every shot. Like if you're never going to vary your grip pressure, I would say a 4 or 5. That's 4 or 5 is going to be nice. Plus, it doesn't put too much pressure on your arms.
And I'll tell you what, we both have videos on that on our channel. I have one at Better Pickleball, and Tony has one at Into Pickleball over on YouTube. I know you're on Facebook, Philip. But go on over to YouTube, and I know mine is called Grip.
I don't know what
Perfect.
mine's called
I know,
anymore because
it's
my
the
guy changed all my titles.
The perfect grip for pickleball. That's what mine is called. And I talk about the continental grip and the grip pressure. Okay, we are going to answer one more because this is coming from Barry.
All right.
Okay, so Barry, we're always going to
fine.
answer
We'll do it for
Barry.
Barry.
Okay, so what Barry says is, how do you communicate with your partner on where you want them to hit it, or where they plan to hit their return or third shot?
All right. So where should the return go, guys and gals?
Deep.
And where?
In the middle.
Right in the middle, right? Right in the middle. I love that return right in the middle. Close it down angles.
And why are we putting it in the middle?
Because confusion.
Confusion, right? Safest shot, safest place, right?
Angles.
Angles are no attack angles, and it's easier to defend what comes back, right?
Yeah.
And then the third shot. He's questioning about the third shot. Where do you go third shot?
To the receiver.
Moving player, receiver, correct. Return of the moving player. So there you go, Barry. Hope that helps. That's
and
the
wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Why do we hit it to
That's
the?
a good one.
Why do we hit it to the returner?
Because he's got to come up to the volley, the via.
We got you, the NBC. We got you covered. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
So you want to
kitchen.
keep them deep because you know they've got to get up to. They're trying to get up, and you want to keep them back.
Yes.
And they're also under stress.
They're-
Even if
I
they
know.
get up, remember how many times, notice that every time that they move up to the NBZ line, you get the ball to them, they'll miss more often. Not to say the other player won't sometimes, but they're going to probably miss more.
Because they're under stress.
They're under
yeah.
stress, right?
You got it. All right. So I tell you what, we are with these lovely folks one more day. We have another group coming in tomorrow afternoon. Actually, we're Tony and I are on 2 days, right? We got a morning and an afternoon. And you know what? We're going to be back here because Thursdays is our normal Facebook Lives. We are normally here on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to make sure that you are in the know, you can go to wearepickleball.com. There's this pretty cool quiz right on the first page.
That is a good question.
So it's something new if you haven't been over there. So if you want to find out what we're doing and what we're up to, which is
But the quiz is about you. Like,
Yeah.
where are you at in your pickleball game? So check it out.
Yep. So we've got them in a camp, and don't forget we're going to be reopening VI Pickleball for new members at the end of October. So get on the list so that you are in the know. But we will be back here on Thursday, same time, same place, same bat station, 4 p.m. All right.
Am I on the scene?
Say bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Let's go play some pickleball. How do I turn this thing off?